Hello and welcome back from a long-awaited return. Bigby plays the Dynasty. I think it's time. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. I think it's time we go back to the Blood Will Have Blood. You know. We're gonna skip the intro. We already watched it last time. This time we're gonna talk a little bit more. Alright, gotta get used to the controls. This wasn't the game that... Nope, this wasn't the game. Okay. A horse is a vain thing for safety, so the Lord tells us. On the other hand, highwaymen pay little heed to scripture. You must be William Bruce, I suppose the governor mentioned you would be coming. Alright, I suspect it has something... I feel it might have something to do with the spread of religious heresy in Britain. That makes sense. You have strong feelings about heresy. As for myself, I think the matter is a great deal more complicated than the Church admits. Things usually are. Religious matters do tend to be complicated. Glad you agree. Too many people tend towards a simplistic view of our faith. Fuck. Governor Woosley. Are you close with the governor? I would say so. We've shared many interesting discussions over the past few years. Perhaps I even enlightened him on a few matters. I hope I have. Anyway, Mother Burns. Tell me about your traveling companion, Mother Burns. Man, I have something in my throat so bad I can't even do my voices. Well, she's a woman of strong faith. That much is certainly true. And an extremely knowledgeable herbalist. Quite highly regarded in the church as well, although her reputation among postulants and novices is somewhat less positive. She's a herbalist, you say? Oh yes, extremely talented. There are very few maladies that she doesn't know how to heal. That's all I can tell about her anyway. The governor's daughter. Oh god, I gotta sneeze now. This is going off to a great start. 2 minutes in and I'm having so many problems. Can't talk, can't... Excuse me. Have to sneeze. Mention that the governor's due to disorder. That's right. Eliza's quite gifted child, although often interested in the wrong subjects. Sooner or later she will have to grow out of this fascination with swords and horses. It only gets her into trouble. Sounds like she has unusual interest for a girl. Rarely known a young girl to count swordplay among her interests. Neither have I. Her father certainly has not encouraged it. Quite the contrary. I suppose it's just in her nature. There's no real harm in that. Anyway, perhaps you should meet her yourself. Alright, thank you. I won't keep you any longer. Go in peace. Okay, this is my run button. Alright. Who am I blaming it on this time? Good evening. Please step aside in the hall. I am Nicholas, the steward. Alright. Well, how is it coming along? Not much longer now. Let's have all arrived. The meal is ought to be ready by now. See to it. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I really am. I can't make a stew cook any faster. Not without ruining the flavor. Do not talk back to me, impudent girl. But I simply do as I say. Make sure the meal is ready within an hour. And there will be consequences. Man. A curse upon that man. Hey, baby. Oh, you startled me. Sorry, I wasn't paying more attention. Are you one of the dinner guests? Yes, William Bruce is my name. Oh, Axis. You're from Scotland, aren't you? I was finishing reading the chronicle of a knight who spent time in your country. Are you really still savages in the Highland Mountains? Do your people truly worship and fear strange evil spirits?
You should not believe every word of those fanciful tales. I worship our Lord Jesus Christ, as I hope you do as well.
Oh, of course, I am a good Christian girl. Ask anyone and they will tell you as much. Only perhaps, don't ask the Reverend Mother about me. Ask Brother Simon if you must. I believe you. Calm yourself, girl, I believe you. You're a good Christian. Thank you, I'm sorry if I offended you by suggesting that you were not. Can I help you with anything else?
Ah, shit.
Alright, how long have you worked for the governor? He took me in when I was quite young, after I had suffered some ill fortune. The governor and his wife were so good to me, I'm sure I would have been dead by now if not for them. I do feel for him so much, especially since his wife passed last year. His wife hit hard then. He was struck hard by the death of his wife. Of course, he loved her dearly. He used to be so active and engaged with the world. Now it seems the only pleasure he gets is from long nights drinking and writing letters. It's such a sad thing to see. Let's not talk about this anymore. Brother Simon. Curious about the monk, Brother Simon. I wonder if you can tell me anything about him. I'm afraid I don't know much about him, sir. He visits with the Reverend Mother every now and then to tutor Eliza. I always feel a little bit of tension in the house when he's here, but that's probably just me being silly.
Why do you feel tension?
Well, he and the others seem to respect one another very much, but they do disagree quite strongly on certain things. Usually it's quite civil, but I have heard them shouting at each other more than once. Raised voices echo through this old house. I wish they didn't. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you about Brother Simon anyway.
Ooh, he can't be a suspect because they respect each other too much, so he can't do it.
Can you tell me anything at all about the Reverend Mother? Not really. I know that she enjoys a spot of mulberry gin. She once told me that she keeps her own garden where she grows mulberries, as well as other fruits and herbs.
Mulberries are gross, man.
Perhaps I should have been a nun, if all they do is drink and tend their garden all day.
There's a mulberry tree in my backyard, and every time you mow with the riding lawnmower and like when the berries are falling off, like they get in your seat, and if you're not sitting in your seat properly, they'll fucking stain the shit out of your pants and make you look like you shit your pants.
Sir John de Ashton. What can you tell me about Sir John? I've known him for much of my life, but I have never spoken to him much. He is far too high of a noble to be concerned with the likes of me, I fear.
Ooh, what a dick.
Nicholas the steward. How do you get along with Nicholas? Oh, he has been very kind. He's taught me a great deal about how to keep a good household. He is such a good teacher. He knows when to be stern and when to be gentle.
Seems like he pays a lot of attention to you.
No more than is proper. As steward of the house, it is his duty to oversee the servants.
Governor's daughter.
Do you get along with the governor's daughter? Eliza? Oh yes, she's a lovely girl. We play some wonderful games together. She always wants to play at nights, but her father won't allow it. I wouldn't know where to begin.
Games.
She ever lose her... Have you ever known her to lose her temper? No, I have not. I heard that she's lost her temper out at other times, but never with me. I hope that's all you need to know about her.
Yeah, that's all I need to know. Thank you. I still have a plan that I want to follow through. It's going to involve the letter.
I hope you see you're making stuff up. Tell me about the governor. I have served him as steward for years. He has been a faultless employer. I'll not hear a single bad word said about him.
So this guy sucks his dick.
Although, do you know about others? Only by reputation, mostly. He seems like a decent enough sort, if a little rough around the edges for a holy man. Considering his past, that's hardly surprising.
What do you mean, rough around the edges?
Oh, nothing sinister. I would just mean he has passion and conviction. If you ask me, the church could use a few more men like that. Anyway, enough about him.
What about the Reverend Mother?
Not a great deal, I'm afraid. I know that she can be rather stern with the governor's daughter in her lessons. I certainly wouldn't like her to be her student, I'll say that much.
Alright, what about Sir John?
Oh, I know a great deal about most of the noble families. It is usually good for a steward to keep up in the latest gossip. I might be inclined to share a little.
What do you know about his family?
Sir John is happily married with a wife and children. Despite his reputation as a ladies' man, there are no scandals to speak. If there were, I'm sure I would know. Anyway, that's enough gossip, I think. The servant. There's not much to tell. The governor took her in when she was fairly young, just another poor beggar girl from the streets of York. He saw to her education and training and made her into a woman she is today. Does he? Treating somebody well is rather a subjective thing, wouldn't you say? He that spares his rod hates his son, but he that loves him chastens him in a good time. The same applies to the opposite sex, wouldn't you say? He beats her? Not recently, to my knowledge, but certainly when she was younger, she gave him cause to use his rod now and then. It only shows how much he cares for her, I suppose. Now, enough talk about the servant girl. What can you tell me about Eliza, the governor's daughter? Not much. You'd do better asking Alice or one of the girl's tutors. I have little time for children. Tell you the truth. Alright, man, thank you. Thank you. I'll be on my way. I got a spacious corridor to the upper floor seems also has a long gallery displaying various works of art as well as family heraldry and other artifacts. Alright, now I just want a quick recap of like the intro for my story, the intro to this story, because it's been a really long time since I played this. Alright, I just want to remember that I'm playing as a character who the governor married my mother, took her money as she was dying ill. I was raised in a monastery, and I swore revenge. And that's what leads me here. The strange stock, even though inside polished wood cross the stone, blah blah blah, mother burnt. And who might you be, with the nerve to interrupt a woman in her prayers? William Bruce, you are? Why, I am Mary Burns, of course, the Mother Superior of Monkton Covenant. From your Scottish Bruges, I would suggest you come from the north of the border. I have many friends in the Church of Scotland. Tell me, to which parish do you belong? Shit! I think it's the Bewley Prior. Do you know it? Ah, yes. One of the Prior Thomas presides over there in order, if I am not mistaken. I know the name quite well, actually. Are you a friend of... He's like a father to me. He is the dearest friend I ever had. Prior Thomas is like a father to me, a good man. A good man. From what I hear, he is lax in his duties, and has sympathies for the heretics. If I were you, I would choose my associates more carefully. What do you want from me? Oh, yes. I like to regard myself as his spiritual advisor and confessor. He shares with me everything from his hopes and dreams to his worst nightmares. I act as a conduit between him and the Almighty God. Nightmares. The governor has nightmares? Of course. What man is not haunted by the ghosts of his past? The governor has been through many things in his life, and witnessed much evil. That always leaves a mark. That is all I am inclined to hear. Man, you see many evils, bitch? Bitch! Bitch! Brother Simon is your traveling companion. That's right, a good man is a little soft. If you ask me, men cannot afford to be meek and gentle in times such as these. Wow, that's all you had to say. What can you tell me about Sir John? Very little. I barely know the man, and I don't care much. Nicholas? Know him personally? Of course not. You associate myself with the servants. Oh, okay, Alice, the servant girl. Too well, I fear. Why the governor decided to take in that little daggle-tailed street wench, I have no idea. She seems like a good, nice girl to me. Well, that's perhaps you are a poor judge of character. I do not wish to discuss her any further. And Eliza. That's right, a difficult child, no doubt about it. A young lady should not take such interests as she does. Wrestling and swordplay and so on is quite improper. Does she seem to get along with her father? Her father adores her. Perhaps that is the part of the problem. I keep telling him he should take a firmer hand with her, but he rarely heeds my advice on the matter. That is enough about the girl. I'll leave you to the prayer. Bye, bitch. I'm curious as why the holy door... The guest chamber. Why the guest chamber has the cross and not the whatever. Well, hello there. By my reckoning, you must be William Bruce. I am Sir John. Yes, indeed. My grandfather was the first Baron of Clackmannan. On my mother's side, my heritage leads back to the Charles the Great. Charlemagne himself, eh? Now that is certainly something to brag about. I take it you did not inherit any lands or titles yourself, though such a shame. Lands and titles can be earned as well as inherited, if a man has sufficient ambition, that is. Ha! I knew I liked you, William. You're a man of your own heart. This may even be a friendship, I see. You and the governor, old friends then? Ah, yes, the oldest and dearest of friends. We've been together through thick and thin. I've witnessed his rise from a soldier to a lord, and I must say he deserves every bit of status he has earned. Even if he is not the firebrand he once was, there's nobody I would rather have at my side in the fight. What about his life before you met? I don't talk much about it. To tell you the truth, I've always sensed that it's not a subject he likes discussed. Far be it from me to drudge up memories he would rather forget. What matters is the man he is today. And there are few men I regard more highly. He is strong and stubborn as an ox, that fellow. Anyway, that's all you need to know about the governor for now. Brother Simon? Unfortunately, yes. The governor insists on inviting him here to tutor his daughter. I suppose he sees something in him that I do not. I wouldn't let the man in my whole house, let alone anywhere near my children. You believe he is a poor tutor, then? Oh, I don't doubt his credentials as a teacher. My dislike for him is more personal than that. Let's talk about something else. I can feel myself getting annoyed. The Reverend. She's one of Eliza's tutors. I haven't spoken to her much, but she seems to be very close to the governor. She seems like a sour-faced old crone, but I do wonder about her sometimes. What do you wonder about her? Well, she and the governor spend so much time alone together. She is his confessor, you see. It's a little unconventional, and there are times when I wonder if that tight-lipped smirk on hers doesn't conceal a certain womanly passion. Ah, don't mind me, I'm just daydreaming again. He thinks she sucks his dick. Ah, good old Nicholas. He struck you as being peculiar as well, eh? He's quite harmless, I assure you. A confirmed bachelor these days, and it's probably better that he stays that way. Why is it better that he remains a bachelor? Well, he was engaged to be wed a few years ago. A nice local girl, good family. Problem was, when he was so violently jealous of her, not a week went by that he didn't accuse some poor lad of sleeping with his beloved. Of course, in her case, it turned out that he was right. She'd been sleeping with half the county. Needless to say, the wedding did not go ahead as planned. I would say it was for the best, whether he was right or not. Someone as jealous and suspicious as Nicholas would not make a good husband. I would pity the poor girl he married. The servant girl. She seems like a nice girl, but doesn't she? Despite the fact that she used to be a street urchin. It's true that they say about redheads, though. They have quite the temper. Why do you say she has a temper? Well, one night some time ago, when I'd had too much wine against my better inclinations, I gave her the backside of a good pinching. She screamed of a sword, she did, and I can still feel that flat of her palm upon my cheek every now. So yes, I would say she has rather temper. I'm afraid I can't tell you much about her. You fucking groped her, dude. How else is she gonna react? The governor's daughter. Ah, she's an amusing little thing. She told me she wants to be a knight when she grows up. Poor girl. Alright. Kevin, it looks like it's still a private meeting room. Alright. Gotta remember, that's not my run. Alright, so do I want to talk to the daughter? Eliza. Oh, someone new. What's your name? William Bruce. You must be Eliza, the governor's daughter. Yes, that's right. Funny accent. Are you one of the friends of my father? Yes, I've been writing my letters to your father for some time now. He invited me here for dinner. Ah, his dinner parties are so boring. I'd much rather spend the day playing in the garden. How about you? What do you like to do for fun? I enjoy swordplay. More than anything else, I like practicing sword. Ah, me too. My father and my tutors don't approve. They won't even let me have a wooden sword. So I have to use sticks most of the time. I only wish I could be a knight one day. Rules are so silly. You want to talk about... Yes. Oh, yes, just last week he took me to see the rude-stained monolith. They say it was built by giants, if you believe in them. I've never seen any, although Brother Simon is quite tall. Of course I do. He tutors me sometimes. He can be funny. He's not being boring. The Reverend Mother? Mother Burns, yes, she is, and she takes confessions from my father, too. She's very clever, isn't she? She can tell me about all the flowers in the forest, what each one is called, and what they can be used for. Only, I wish she could be a little more gentle at times, like Brother Simon. Is she stern towards you? Well, sometimes she strikes me with the birch rod. Father says it helps me learn, but sometimes she does it when I haven't even done anything wrong. She just had a bad temper. Please don't tell anyone I said that, though. Bitch. What can you tell me about Sir John? Sir John is my godfather, and my father's best friend. Sometimes he brings me gifts when he visits. I like him. If he stood as your godfather, your families must be quite close. I suppose so. Godfathers must be important, because I have 2 godmothers and only 1 godfather. How about you? Boys have 2 godfathers and 1 godmother. Why is that? I'm not sure. It's tradition, I suppose. Funny. I'd rather have 2 godfathers, I think. All my godmothers want to do is practice their needlework all day long. They're so boring. He's alright. A little bit of a bore. He doesn't play games with me like Alice. I wish someone would teach him to be less of a bore and to have better manners. Get along well? Yes, I think so. He works for my father since before I was born. I suppose he must be good at whatever it is he does around here. Let's not talk about him anymore. He's boring. Damn, dude. And Alice. Alice is my best friend. We often play games together. She's marvelous, isn't she? Alright. Time to go talk to Time to talk to the man I'm gonna kill. Ah, William Bruce, I presume. You look just like I pictured. Greasy, Brother Woosley. I consider my only family to be the church. I was raised by the monks of Beaulieu Priory. I would explain why you are a man of such strong faith. It will take men like us to combat this evil in our church and put a stop to it. We must give no quarter to the heretics. No punishment is too severe for them. Well, there are certain things that we should not resort to, lest we become barbarians. I will tell you this, William. Sometimes one must take drastic measures to protect one's faith. It is a hard truth, but it must be learned. God will forgive that which is done to safeguard the sanctity of his church. Anyway, I should return to my work. I look forward to continuing. Okay, I don't have to talk to anybody about you. Alright, now my plan. Alright. My plan is I want to frame Alice. But I want to check out the items first. Small change in buildings to Alice. A red in the color of passion would seem to indicate that this is a love letter of some sort. As you unravel it and take a look, you see that your suspicions are correct. Do not come to my bedchamber tonight. There are too many who might overhear our pleasures. Come tomorrow after Nicholas has turned in for the night. I will be waiting. Governor's handwriting from your own correspondence with him. It would seem that he is indulging in an affair with a servant girl. Probably not implicate her in any way, in anything, but perhaps the unread letter can serve as a purpose. Fuck. I like that. But the items is where I get all the information. Small candle. Wrinkled shirt. Shoes next to bed. We don't really have anything important.
Last time I took the note and gave it to Mother Burns, and then went from there. Maybe... Small dagger probably belonging to the guest who is staying in this chamber. Such blades are useful personal protection during long journeys. This weapon is small enough to scale between your tunic and take it. No. That's the weapon. I don't want the dagger and I don't want the sword. I did that last time. What is this again? The letter apparently had been left by the steward. It was messenger. You must make sure that Sir John is not watching before you tear clear. It has come to my attention that you still owe significant debts to my household. It would be unfortunate if I were forced to take further measures to retrieve those monies. The letter is not signed for obvious reasons. Perhaps, but does appear to be in the governor's handwriting. The intended recipient is also not mentioned by name. I will take that letter. And I think I will take the dagger. As I will plunge this fucking country into war. I will plunge this fucking country into war. To be sure that I get revenge. I just want to point that out. May I see your new horses after we finish? Yes, of course. Silence. I quite enough of your silly preoccupation with horses and battles and such. Say nothing. So, Robert, are you going to tell us why you've really asked us here this evening? Patience is with you, Brother Harmon. However, since we are all here, we might as well get it over with. As some of you are aware, I am a close friend with the Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Arundel. I met him while I was serving in the Archbishop. What mission exactly? I am serving in the office of heretics. I have never heard such an office. That's because the office is not required before. However, things are about to change in our country. Parliament will soon pass a law allowing the church in order to arrest any persons suspected of heresy. If they fail to renounce their heretical beliefs, they will be burned at the stake as an example to the others. King Richard never allowed that. His Majesty is not King Richard. He sees the threat to our fate much more clearly. Not to mention his gratitude. Without the support of the church, Henry would not have been king. We cannot let these heretics destroy us. Burn them all. That's what I say. I And what if it was a member of your own family who was accused of heresy, Sir John? Would you be so fast to condemn them to the stakes? What? You dare to even suggest that my family would be involved in such things? Bring me a blade and I'll teach you this rude little Scot a lesson you won't forget. Calm yourself, Sir John. Sir John, despite any differences of opinion, it is important that all of us remain united. I intend to form a privy council of my own help to restore to the Arbiter. Of course, in my opinion, the heretics are only the beginning of the problem. Tell me, William, what is your opinion on the existence of witchcraft? I must confess I have never seen anything that would ever lead to believe the power of witchcraft. I once thought the same as you, however, more recently I have come to do that in the Thomas of Aquinas of late. He argues that witches can, in fact, perform miracles. If we take a miracle to mean that which is beyond human understanding, but not beyond our power of God, what does all this have to do with heresy? What does it not seem to you that witchcraft is the ultimate form of heresy? Surely those indulged in these dark arts should not go unpunished. Of course they should be punished. I feel unqualified to speak of the matter. These witches are indeed powerful. Then they are servants of the devil. No punishment is too severe for them. I quite agree. There is no greater threat to men than the power of Satan. However, this may be a conversation for another time. Our first concern is dealing with these damned heretics. I have chosen each of you for a good reason. Even you, Brother Simon. You have never been afraid to speak your mind. A valuable trait. I am glad you think so. And William Bruce, can you keep me updated on the activities of the heretics? Of course, I would be glad to serve such a righteous cause in the name of the faith. Good. I knew I could rely on you. William, despite the fact that you are not an Englishman,
Despite any differences we might have, we are all good Christians, I believe. That is the most important thing of all.
Hear, hear.
Anyway, I think we have finished here for the night. I must go and take some fresh air. Would you be good enough to prepare a communion for me a little later, Brother Simon?
Certainly, Governor. Myself and Reverend Mother will see to it. Man. I forgot that that Dynasty is a lot longer than the original deed.
Now that dinner is over, it's time to plant the evidence you may have collected. Then you must finally seek out this low scoundrel and put an end to his life.
Alright. Well, I know where to put the letter. I just need to know where to go. Do you want to place it in the wardrobe here in the guest chamber? Yes. Alright, Sir John's in the guest room. Please be quiet. The steep staircase seems to have brought you to the gusty parapets of the tower of the estate. Your view around breathtaking. The Governor Woosley stands perilously close to the edge of the balcony. After 20 years of waiting, the moment has finally arrived. Now is the time to not make any mistakes. First thing you quickly clasp one hand around Woosley's mouth while pressing the blade of the dagger upon his neck. This is from my mother, you whisper as you slit the man's throat. A smothered gargling gasp emerges as his lifeblood drains from his neck. You drop the dagger on the ground beside his lifeless body. Someone below may have heard something suspicious, so you should leave the place quickly. How long do I have? Oh shit, I have 20 seconds. I want to speak with... Oh, Alice. If you need something, I will be with you as soon as I have finished the laundry. Did you hear that? Of course I heard it. Stay here. I'll go see what that was. Ba-boom! I have an alibi. It's a lot better than last time. God, Robert! How could this happen? Who could have done this? It's not for us to determine. Nicholas, who is the sheriff of this shire? Nicholas? My apologies, Brother Simon, I'm just a little shaken. Thomas de Bromflet is the High Sheriff. He is presently at York Castle, about an hour's ride from here. Then I shall ride there immediately and return with him tonight. Will there be anything? Yes, of course, I will see to it. Simple knock, 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 knock. Excuse me. Welcome, my lord. Sir John and I. This is William Bruce, the Governor. William Bruce, I can't say I've ever heard of you. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing at all, most likely. Simply a passing observation. There is no need to be quite so defensive. Where is Brother Simon? He is outside, seeing to the horse. Who else is in the house at this moment? Eliza is here, though. It would be better if she wasn't. The Reverend Mother is tending to her, and Alice, the servant girl. And all were present at the time of the murder. Yes, we've been here all evening. I see. Everyone should be in one room. Is there someplace smaller in the upper floors, perhaps? There's the governor's cabinet, I suppose, Governor. Gather everyone there. Meanwhile, my men will conduct a search of the house. They will also search each of your persons. Is that really necessary? Oh yes, Sir John. But have no fear. We will soon get to the bottom of this heinous crime. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. There. How is this girl? She's resting now, though I doubt she will find peaceful sleep for some time. Poor child. Let her rest for now. I have questions for her later. First of all, I would like to run through the events of the day with each of you. From what I gathered, each of you had the opportunity to slip away to the top of the tower at some time shortly after dinner. William Bruce, as far as I can tell, you are the outsider here. You will forgive me if my questions are directed at you for the moment. I take no offense. I would likely do the same thing in your position. Very good, then. The truth is, I still have no idea who you are. Tell me something about your past. I was raised by There's not much to tell. My mother died when I was a child, and I was raised in the priory. You're an orphan, then? No status to speak of? How did you come to know the governor? I wrote him a letter regarding the spread of heresy in Scotland. He was intrigued enough to invite me to his estate. You first reached out to him, then? Yes, I knew he would be interested in the matter. I see. Tell me, what time of day did you arrive here? I can answer that. I saw William arrive at the courtyard while I was tending to my horses just before dusk. Did he say anything to you? Yes, he came over and introduced himself to me. We then shared our thoughts on the current mood, on the current heresy in the church, and I mentioned that it would be that I did not entirely agree with the governor's approach. Yeah, I remember that. We also spoke about Eliza and her unusual interests. I told William that they were harmless and simply in nature. I agree, Eliza is a good girl, I see. Otherwise, we said nothing of consequence. I was also there when William Bristol arrived. I agreed met the entrance of the door, and I told him where to find the other guys. Did you speak to him again? Yes, we spoke a little about our brother Simon. I remember commenting on his passion and conviction. Personally, I think the church could use more men like him. Thank you, Nicholas. You may be right. I will keep that in mind. Oh yes, we spoke about Alice too. Yes, that's right. I don't think we spoke about anything else of importance. Indeed. Let's move on. I spoke to William when he came to the kitchen. And what was the subject? I'd been reading a book containing about the Scottish people. I asked whether or not the tales were true. I may have caused him some offence by suggesting the Scottish people were anything other than Christian. However, he was very gracious about it, I see. We spoke about the governor's wife and her unfortunate death. He said that the governor misses his wife a great deal. Indeed, that's the only natural. We also talked about Brother Simon for a while, and his relationship with the governor. He said that Brother Simon and the governor disagreed about many things. Of course, that's why the governor kept me around. He did not object to dissenting voices. Yes, I understand. Finally, we spoke about the governor's daughter, and he asked about her temperament, and I told him that I'd never known her to get angry. I see. Thank you, Alice. I can't think of anything else that we've talked about. What about you, Sir John? Ah, yes, I ran into William in the long gallery. We exchanged a few words. He told me about the noble history of his family name, and shared his ambitions to see that name restored to former glory. It sounds like you would go to great lengths to achieve your ambitions, William Bruce. Go to great lengths? Not especially. That seems contrary to what you told Sir John earlier. When we spoke about the governor, I remember him saying that there is no man I regard more highly. He was strong and stubborn as an ox, that man. I miss him a great deal. Yes, he certainly did seem to be a strong-minded fellow, as I recall. Go on. I remember speaking about Brother Simon as well. In the spirit of honesty, I may have confessed a certain personal dislike for him. Sorry about that, my good man. It is no matter. If it is nothing more than personal dislike, I doubt it's relevant. Continue. We also spoke about the Reverend Mother. I seem to remember you wondered about the close relationship she shared with the governor. Well, it is a little unusual, I suppose, when a man and a woman are as close as that. One can't help but wonder sometimes. What are you trying to say? Oh, nothing really. I think I understand your concern, Sir John. Please go on. We talked about Nicholas, too, if I remember correctly. Said he used to be violent. I remember you saying that you have known Nicholas to be violently jealous of women in the past. Is that true, Nicholas? Well, I do expect my women to be faithful, it's true. I just realized this, I keep looking at Nicholas's face, or, this officer's face, and I keep immediately just thinking Seth Rollins. Shield Seth Rollins. Cause all I see is, the blonde hair, and then I see just black. So if someone was carrying on with a woman for whom you had strong feelings for, this might cause you to become angry. Well, I suppose so, but... Thank you, Nicholas. You may proceed, Sir John. I remember talking about Alice the Seventh Girl for a while. You said you told me you pinched her backside once. Hey now, there is no need to repeat that here. It was just harmless horseplay. Yes, it sounds like it. I think that was all we spoke about, other than small talk. I spoke to William before dinner. He came to the chapel, as I recall. What did you discuss with him? He said that he travelled from Bewley Priory.
I was familiar with it, having many friends of the Scottish Church. Friar Thomas, who presides over the place, has a reputation of something of an agitator and a malcontent, sympathetic to the heretics. This man claims that Prior Thomas is like a father to him. Yes, I did say that. Yes, the man particularly raised me. Well, this is something that concerns me a great deal, given the governor's past actions against the heretics. Did you discuss anything else? We spoke about the mutual friend the governor had. We spoke about our mutual friend, the governor, and the things that concerned him. You said something about him being haunted by the ghosts of his past. Like all great men, the governor had many personal demons. His past caused him a great deal of anguish then. Oh, yes, certainly. Go on. We spoke briefly about Alice, the servant girl. I will not repeat what I said, but William seemed to think she was a good girl. Oh, thank you, William. I see. Anything else? Finally, we discussed the governor's daughter. I mentioned how she adored her father. I only wish that he would have been more stern with her sometimes for her good. So you think he cared for her a great deal? Yes. Enough to make him soft, anyway. I see. We discussed nothing else of any note. Eliza told me that she spoke with William in her room before dinner. Oh. Did she say what it was about? She asked him what he likes to do for fun, and he mentioned he enjoys swordplay most of all. Oh, is that so? Shit! Go on, Alice. She also said that they spoke about the Reverend Mother for her, and her lessons. Eliza said the Reverend beats her with a rod sometimes. That is not unusual. It's quite common to discipline for a child. Quite right. She said that the two of them spoke about our steward, Nicholas, and how he had worked for the governor since before she was born. The two of them must have been very close indeed. Yes, we were close. I owed so much to him. She didn't mention anything else about their conversation. Did you speak with the governor before dinner with William Bruce? Yes, I spoke to him in his chamber. And what did you discuss? What else? We spoke about the heretics and how they should be punished. Try to be more specific. I advise that we should not be too brutal in punishing the heretics. It's always better to try and reform them. And as wise counsel, yes, perhaps. Alright, now someone needs to tell me what happened during dinner. I only remember Eliza pestering Brother Simon about his horse. Yes, after that the governor told us about the Parliament to pass a new law allowing to burn heretics. Sir John seemed quite in favour of the idea. I said that I support the idea. William seemed to think otherwise. Yes, and then you nearly tried to challenge me to a duel. Is that true? Well, I have gotten a little heated. Yes, I certainly sounds like you did. Anyway, the conversation moved on to the topic of witchcraft. The governor asked William if he believed in the power of witches. I told him that I don't believe witches had any special powers, and what happened next. And then we spoke about the punishments that would be suitable for witches, since they are just another kind of heretic. William said he felt that all witches ought to be destroyed. All of them, William? Yes. But only those who are found guilty of the crime naturally. Ah, naturally. As dinner came to the governor joined us to his privy council, and revealed the reasons why he was chosen. I believe he said that I was the strong-minded William could keep him informed of the events to the north of the border. What'd you say about that? I was eager to... I was ready and willing to do my duty for the church. That's good, I suppose. Anyway, that was the last time we saw the governor alive. Who discovered the body? Unfortunately, I was the one who discovered him. Me and the Reverend Mother were in the chapel when I heard the noise and I went to investigate. I'm sure that my cries soon alerted everyone else in the house. And where were each one of you I was relaxing in the guest chambers at the time. Brother Simon's screaming gave me quite a shock, I tell you. I was down at the Great Hall. I thought I heard something. And I was in the cellar seeing to the laundry. What about you, William Bruce? I was in the basement. Cellar. I was down in the cellar. Is that true, Alice? Was he with you in the cellar? Yes, he was there with me. I see. That means you were a very long way from the tower. Let's move on to discussing the manner of the governor's death. The dagger that was supposed to kill the governor was engraved with your initials, Sir John. Indeed, that's because it belongs to me. However, I left it in my room when I arrived. I only carry the thing for my protection while I am traveling, so anyone could have taken it before dinner. Yes, I didn't notice it was gone, to tell you the truth. I see. Given the manner of his death, I suppose it's possible that he took his own life with your dagger, as unlikely as it seems. I will now take counsel with my captain of the guard. Did you find anything during the search of these persons? Nothing of note on Sir John. The steward. Nothing Of note on Sir John, the steward of the 2 members of the clergy. We did find this letter on the servant girl. Let me see it. I can explain. There is no need. Lords betting their servant girls is hardly anything new. Alice, how could you? It may be immoral, Reverend Mother, but it does not give her any reason to kill the man. If it's of no interest as far as I am concerned, it is of no interest to me. I expect you to come and see me for confessions later, Alice. Yes, Reverend Mother. What about William Bruce? Did you find anything on his... No, nothing, my lord. And during the search of the house, we found this letter searching the wardrobe in the guest chamber. It may be of interest. Indeed, this was written in the governor's hand, if I'm not mistaken. It has come to my attention that you still owe significant debts to my household. What? That's poppycock. I have heard rumors that you do struggle with debt, Sir John. Was the governor one of the people you borrowed money from? No, never. This letter seems to suggest otherwise. Perhaps you wish to be free of those debts once and for all. We searched the rest of the house and found nothing of interest, my lord. Very well, then. I believe I have heard quite enough. William Bruce, I am almost certain that you had something to do with the governor's death. I knew it from the beginning. I will not even entertain the idea that the good Reverend Mother was involved based on what I have heard tonight. How am I still a main suspect? I think I can say that you are free of any suspicion, Nicholas, and I am afraid that I will have to speak to you again, Sir John. Now, taking all of this into account, I'm going to have my guards put you in chains, William Bruce. I suggest you don't resist. You're making a mistake, Sheriff. I very much doubt that. You will come back with us to the castle, Sir John. There are some things that need accounting for. This will be the biggest mistake you'll ever make. Thomas, I assure you of that. How am I a guess? How am I a sus? How am I a sus? How am I a sus? With a weighty amount of evidence standing against you, it's insufficient evidence to arrest anybody else. Of course. No, better not keep this rabble waiting in. Just get this over with. Shit! Well, my quest in 1400s is not over. I still have to blame someone for the death of my mother. Shit! I will see you all next time on the Deed Dynasty. Goodbye.